Well, here we are again, and welcome to Reach Out, everybody. I'm Ron Paolino with my beautiful and talented co-host,
Poppy Champlin. And look at us, Ron, we matched today.
We always match, Poppy. That's what the viewers watch for, because we're such a wonderful match, I think.
The viewers watch for.
Well, I mean my parents.
Oh, right. Yours parents and my mother.
Yeah, well, it's three.
That's
we have
three.
enough. And hi, everybody. Hi, Mom, Dad, and Mrs.
Yeah,
Champlin.
and my mom.
How are you? Good to see you. Hey, let's start the show off right. Listen, if you're out there, let us know.
Yeah, please. Email us.
Give us a holler. Give us an email. Call us on a landline. Let us know you're there.
Send us a pigeon. Send us a smoke signal.
That's it. We'll take anything at this point.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, we've got a great guest today. We've got a great show planned, but I got to tell you, we're here. Poppy and I are doing our little thing only because you'll see this a little bit late, but this is our Christmas show,
It's
so to
our
speak.
Christmas show.
Just a few days before Christmas, and here we are. And I did my Christmas shoplifting. I got it all done today.
Oh, did you? Good for you.
Yeah, I got away with it too. It was great. You know, it's a real exciting year at Walmart.
Oh, yeah, Walmart.
No, but actually, I'm just kidding. I'm not promoting that kind of thing. It's only a joke.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, how are you doing? Are you all set for Christmas?
I'm not quite all set. I mean, I definitely did some of my shopping
Good.
at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Bed Bath and Beyond. That's kind of an interesting name, isn't it? Bed Bath and Beyond. It sort of sets up a mood.
Yeah. There was a comedian who did a thing about what is the beyond part. You know, what do you get?
Yeah, we get
at the
Bed
beyond?
and Bath, but what Bed and Bath we get? What's beyond that?
Bed and Bath.
Yeah, Bath. We're going nuts today, folks.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas cheer, you know. Anyway.
No, we didn't.
We don't promote.
And then I went to this other this other store in New York. You know, in the city. I was,
Oh, did
because
you?
I go
Manhattan?
back and forth
In
between
Manhattan?
Rhode Island and New York.
Yeah.
And so I went to this store called Soapology.
Oh, I've never been there.
Soapology, very small store, but it's all soaps and oils and salts, and it had these great salts that you put on for anti-aging.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm into that.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I'll have to bring you some.
Please,
Yeah.
bring me like a couple of tons
Right,
of
a
that
vat
salt.
of
Yeah,
it, right?
exactly. Something I can just encase my face in.
Right. So I got some of those, and I'm gonna because they had to buy. I bought this one, and it was like $45 for one vat of it, about this big. So I'm gonna.
What is it, Poppy?
It's special. It's like, you know,
Is
the
it
fountain of
sulfuric acid,
youth.
or
It's sulfuric acid.
Put it on,
You
it changes your entire, changes it, eats the whole epiderm, just eats it right away.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be really, really good. So anyway, so I got some of that.
Good.
Yeah, so it's going to be sort of a bath Christmas, I think, for most people that I know.
Bath Christmas,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah.
A spa. It'll be a
Very,
spa
very, very
because it's so
interesting.
warm out. I mean,
Well, since this show is going to be seen after Christmas, so you can say that kind of thing because you won't be ruining the surprise unless they're listening, or unless our
Oh,
guest,
right. Oh,
unless our
that's
guest
right.
runs right out and tells them. You know,
Right.
you don't know
Right.
because at any rate, yeah, it's been a pretty interesting year. The weather's been mild, as we discussed
amazing.
earlier. It's been
I mean,
really
the
nice.
October storm was great. I mean, it was very unexpected to have a snowstorm in
Absolutely.
October.
Before Halloween.
Before Halloween.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But now that it's so warm, it would certainly be nice to have a little snow.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you
Well,
like some?
Actually, no.
No?
No, I'm not. If I want snow, I'd like to travel to it. It's one of the things I like about California and Vegas. If you want snow, you drive
Oh,
a couple hours into
yeah.
the mountains and you got it.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, it's beautiful. You know, my niece and nephew live in San Diego with their children. They're still there. He's an officer in a medical researchist in the military, in the Navy, and he's leaving there. They're coming to Maryland, I think, this March or April. They're being transferred, but they've been in San Diego now for a few years. And that's just got to be the greatest weather in the country.
Oh, yeah.
There's other places that have wonderful weather. Naples, Florida, where I lived for years, it was beautiful, but not like San Diego. It's just
San
something about it.
Diego's great. That's where our guest is from.
Really?
Yeah, she's from San
I
Diego.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
See, you learn something new every moment on the Reach Out show. Yeah, it's incredible. So anyway, so we're all set for Christmas. Are you got any shows going on for Christmas, New Year's? Are you doing
Actually,
any work?
yeah. My next show is January 12th back at the Comedy Connection.
Oh, good. Well, if you want to see Poppy and I, all you got to do is show up at the Comedy
That's
Connection.
right.
If this show is in time, if this airs in time, January 12th, you said?
January 12th.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll be there. I'll either be there as her co-host or
Yeah.
her agent. You never can quite
Yeah,
really know.
I
You
need
never
an
know.
agent.
You never know.
Yeah. And then I got a private party on the 14th, so that'll be good.
Yeah,
Kind of
that's-
get back into
that's-
roasting people. That's how I started, you know.
I thought you-
Roasts.
I thought you started playing a piece of bread out in the
Okay,
middle of
okay,
Route 2.
that's how I really started. I was a dancing loaf of bread.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and a dancing pork chop. Let's
And,
not
and
forget
forgive,
that.
forgive my reference. I didn't mean a piece of bread. Yes, a
That's
loaf
all-
of
yeah,
bread.
yeah,
Excuse me.
yeah, I was a loaf of
no,
bread.
No offense.
And a pork chop. And I remembered I did another something. Oh, I was a tree. I was also I was a Christmas tree.
But they asked you to leave.
Oh, they asked me to leave. Hey, Yule, why don't you take a bow? Boom.
Oh, that's awful. They asked me to leave.
Gotta
That's
get
just
back
terrible.
to my roots. But anyway,
Rim shot.
we are gonna bring on our next guest, and it's gonna be a very great show because we do have a problem here in Rhode Island.
Yes, and all over the country. But right here at home, we've got a real serious problem. We're going to tell you about that when we come back. Hi, welcome back. Here we are at Reach Out. Myself, Ron Paolino, here with Poppy Champlin.
Hi.
And also I'd like to welcome our guest. This is Miss Laura Jaworski from the Rhode Island Coalition of the Homeless. Hi, Laura. Welcome
Hi.
to Reach Out.
Thank you
Nice
for
to see
having me.
It's very much a pleasure of ours. Let's just get started with the simplest of questions, if you would, Laura, and that is, what can you tell our viewers about the coalition and about the Rhode Island Coalition for the Homeless?
The Rhode Island Coalition for the Homeless is an advocacy agency where we have a number of member agencies that provide direct services to those that are homeless or experiencing, that are at risk of experiencing homelessness. We provide them with training, technical assistance, communications, advocacy work. We have a whole myriad of services that we provide our
Yes,
members.
it sounds that way. There's a lot to
Wow.
talk about here. I think one of the things that just to start off with, you said people that could be more or less homeless, people that are on the verge of being homeless, and that's an interesting topic to me. How do you discern that? How do you decide, or how do you find out that someone is in need before they almost realize it themselves, or they're just realizing it now that, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do next week or next month?
It's actually a really tricky thing to decide or determine. We find that a lot of individuals and families are couch surfing or doubling up is what we refer to it as. And that's the segment of our population that we really don't know the exact number
Right.
of folks that are in that situation. So while we know that over 4,000 Rhode Islanders in 2010 experienced homelessness, meaning they came into our shelters and stayed for at least a night, we really don't know about the number of folks that are staying on a family member's couch or are using a extra spare bedroom.
So until they reach out to you, and I mean no pun, this is the reach out show, but until they reach out to you, really don't have any way of knowing, do you?
True. Until they come and access our shelters, our meal sites, pantries, we really don't know exactly who they are. However, we have a wonderful network of outreach workers that frequent various sort of hot spots, whether that be out in the woods or under bridges or other certain parts of our state where we know people are living and staying, to try to check in on them, make sure they're safe, let them know about resources or services that are available to them. So when they're ready to come in and access the system, they know where to go and how to do that.
Did you take like their information kind of stuff too? Like get their name and their...
Very basic information.
Yeah.
They, over time, may begin to build a rapport with that outreach worker. So they may know that, Joe is living
Yeah.
over in the woods near the train tracks. They start to build a relationship with those individuals, and it's that relationship that eventually that person is able to come in and access the system
Will the
through that
police
trust.
take people off of those areas and bring them to you?
Sometimes certain communities have really good relationships with their local law enforcement agencies, where the law enforcement agency is almost another outreach worker, so to speak. They'll know a lot of the people in the community, and through building good relationships with either the local service providers like the homeless shelters or the meal sites.
So they would bring them to a shelter versus bringing them to jail?
Well, we would hope that if there was a crime committed,
Right.
that the regular process that we have set up that would be followed. And we would hope that through a concern out of someone's safety, they would bring them to one of our shelters so that they
Yeah.
would be warm.
You know, Poppy, what I always think about during these kind of conversations or when just reflecting on this kind of a situation is the mental state of these folks. Because a lot of these folks are hardworking people. Quite a few of them, I'm sure you'll agree from my experience and my reading, they're indigent. These are people that are working, that have a job, and yet still they can't afford to eat, to maintain themselves, to maintain a place to stay, heat, a telephone, and the things necessary to feel viable in the
Sure.
community and so on. Do you find depression and other things are really a real constant with a lot of the folks that you find?
Oh, sure, absolutely. In our society, we attach a large part of our identity to what we do for work and
And
who
our
we
self-worth,
are, and
sure, our self-worth,
and what
yeah.
we can bring home to our families. When you ask someone, "Hi, tell me a little bit about yourself," the first thing you tell them
do
is
you
about
do?
is what you do for work.
Yeah.
And when you can't be a part of that segment of society, you're bound to feel as though you're less than or not worthy. And that's why it's really important that we understand the reasons why people become homeless, and we really understand what people need to help propel them out of homelessness. Things like jobs where they can sustain housing, housing that then is affordable so that they don't have to work more than one job to be able to make ends meet, to simply put food on the table, to simply pay the electricity bill.
Yeah.
When people don't have enough left over and are often in the negative at the end of the month, that's when they really start to access
There
our
is
system.
affordable housing in every state, right? Is there a lot in Rhode Island, or?
We have some affordable housing here in Rhode Island. However, our system is so tapped out at the moment, it's busting at the seams. And so there are wait lists that are oftentimes years long
Wow.
for people to get into.
Wow.
So one of the things that we really need here in Rhode Island is funding for more affordable housing. We're actually one of 9 states in the country that lacks a permanent funding stream for affordable housing, which means we don't have a regular stream of funds to support housing here. So what one of our goals is to become is the 42nd state. One of our hopes for next year
Wow.
through our work with the legislature is to establish a funding stream so that we have a regular influx of money to be able to support affordable housing for our community.
That's great.
Let me ask the obvious question to me. How can the Aid Foundation, this program, Reach Out Poppy, and myself and our viewers help in that regard? How can we be of help?
Well, there's a number of ways that people can become involved. One of the easiest ways is to become educated about the issues around homelessness, why people become homeless, what's really happening here, not just in our state, but in our local community. Homelessness touches all of
Let me stop
all
you
of
there.
our towns.
Please explain. Please help us with that. How does that happen, and how can we help with that? You just said
We have a lot of information and resources on our website,
okay.
which is www.rihomeless.org. We have a special resources section. We have tons of information, statistics, and even concrete pieces of paperwork where you can look and see where can I even access these services for myself or a family member, or where can I volunteer. There's lots of agencies that really need support. We talked about even though this is going to be airing in January with the holiday season, it's a season of goodwill and giving, and to be thinking about those in need. Our agencies really need that support the other times of the year as well,
Right.
just as much as they need it now.
Certainly.
We have a lot of really great providers doing a lot of really great work with really limited resources, and those are things that they need continued support from in their local communities year-round. So educating, volunteering, but also if you're concerned about homelessness issues, tell your legislature, tell your elected officials that this is something you care about, that this is important to you. Pick up the phone, give them a call, write them an email, because then when we go in as the legislative session starts in January, it really lays the groundwork for the work that we do at the Coalition on advocating for folks experiencing homelessness.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
I've recently, with John Medeiros, our director and founder here at the Aid Foundation, had some interactions with Senator Jack Reed and Sheldon Whitehouse.